Hello, everyone, and welcome to SceneGrinder Live. I am Michael St. Gregory. I am your host for tonight. For those of you who are here for the first time, welcome. We are going to be talking about SceneGrinder, an amazing new product, and I am going to be talking with two of the gentlemen involved. This is an exciting thing for me because I found about SceneGrinder online through social media marketing, and it immediately popped out to me as something that I need to be involved in. And thankfully, the team at SceneGrinder came to me and said, "Hey, you want to do this thing?" And I'm like, "I love doing these kinds of things." So, welcome to the show. This is going to be something where we catch up and develop with the developers, and we find out how the project is going along, and then we get to talk to you. So join us as this journey evolves. So without further ado, let's get into it. Gentlemen, how are you doing? Ron Gilbert, Jerry Holmes. Ron, the project manager, Jerry, our lead developer. Welcome to SceneGrinder Live. First of all, congrats automatically, I should just say, for having your Kickstarter project funded. Not a lot of people can say that right off the bat. So first off, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been a lot of fun.
Been an adventure. Yep.
So we are going to be talking about this awesome, and I listen. I may be just a little bit biased just because I've been following the development of this thing for so long, but this is kind of a groundbreaking thing. Virtual tabletops are kind of this burgeoning tech that is, we've seen it through stuff like Roll20 and Foundry, but what you and your team are doing is something really like unheard of. So let's rewind the clock a little bit back, and tell us about basically where it all kind of started.
Yeah, well, it actually started about 14 years ago when this stuff was really new. But the technology for it at the time just really wasn't there. We had to take a pause, and life kind of caught up with us a little bit. Roll forward a bunch of years, technology caught up. We're all in the software industry. COVID hit, and just the signs started to point to, hey, we really need to do this. But we didn't just want to roll out another ordinary virtual tabletop. There are some really good virtual tabletops out there which do their thing and do their thing well. We wanted to bring something a little different. And one of our primary, everybody thinks about, oh, it's a 3D virtual tabletop. Well, yeah, it is. And we're very excited about that. But our primary mission was to bring it to the browser in a way that was useful and accessible. And oh, by the way, awesome, it's 3D. So
Yeah,
that,
I mean, that's
yeah.
that's huge. That was definitely the thing that popped out to me, and the idea of just immersion. Immersion is something that, especially in this day when people are playing more virtually, and the idea of not actually being able to work with a model or your own little figures and rolling in front of your friend, that kind of experience, as good as doing a Zoom call is, or using there's something about being able to see the pieces in front of you and really feel like you're all sharing that same experience. And that's what I feel like you're both trying to accomplish with this.
Yep,
Yeah.
definitely the goal.
And as the product developed, we didn't realize how much of not a toy 3D was going to be. At first, it was a novelty. Wouldn't it be cool if we could see the world in 3D? Then, as we started play testing and getting other testing groups into it and started using the product ourselves, we realized, wow, this is not just another way to view the map. This is a way for the dungeon master to jump into the point of view of the guard on the tower and really see, hey, I can see that guy, but I can't see that guy, and I got a really good line of shot on that guy in a way that you just can't do in 2D.
Yeah, it kind of takes the aspect out of the meta playing, that a lot of people can see from like a top-down view, and to put the DM in, or whatever GM position they're in, to put them into the perspective of the NPC, and then for one of the big things that I've seen with the the plan for the first person perspective, to literally immerse yourself so that your character can only see what it would be like if they were on the ground floor. That like just reinvents the whole strategy, where, and like I was saying before we recorded, as a dungeon master, it excites me. As a player, it terrifies me, but in a fun way.
Oh yeah, we've been doing in our own campaign. We've been doing a dungeon adventure the last I don't know, 3 or 4 sessions, and it's awesome.
I would actually get to go through the dungeon. Like that's
sure.
It's mind blowing.
Yeah. Yes, we're doing the Temple of Elemental Evil in 3D, and it's a lot of fun, and it makes it interesting for a blast for the GM too, because the GM is playing their own sort of game with it as well. And then you get the aspect of, we had some people worry that, oh, you're going to reduce theater of the mind. Well, let me assure you, theater of the mind is still live there, bright and all there. This doesn't take away; it enhances it. So
yeah.
So
and coming from a DM's perspective, as much as like the visual and the use of models and figures and set pieces helps with being able to describe, there's still the emotion of the story and your storytelling ability, and this I feel can enhance it because you just have that bit more of a visual aid. But in the end, it's still about the players and the DM communicating and really just world building together in that space. So with the concept of it being put together and deciding we're gonna go for it, we're gonna do it, you put the project forth onto Kickstarter, and it got funded. Like everyone, nerds like me, were just like, shut up and take my money. Like we were just like, go for it. How was that experience for you?
It was, the whole thing was interesting, because initially we started out with, okay, hey, we built this awesome thing, we got it to this point, let's just tell a few people and everybody will come running to us and want to buy it. And then we found out, well, you actually have to get the word out. So that was an interesting experience. We worked with, in case anybody's interested, we worked with Launch Boom Consulting and Booster Campaign, and they really, Launch Boom showed us how to do advertising and how to get the word out, and then Booster Campaign helped with the mechanics, getting the ads done and getting them in there. That was a huge learning experience for all of us. But once we got people there on Facebook and Discord and started talking with the community, that was a lot of fun. And that whole process has just been a blast. Hearing all the comments and, getting the feedback from everybody and hearing all the other ideas that everybody else has had. That's been a blast.
Yeah, you definitely in a lot of engagement with the people who've been involved, especially with the Discord. A lot of people from the Discord are watching now.
Sure.
Hi, everybody. And if you're not from the Discord, get in on it, because you can help contribute to this, burgeoning new development of more adjectives than I can think of at the moment.
Yeah. And that's appropriate to do, just a thank you to our Discord community. You guys have kept us awake in the late night hours. You have given us energy where maybe we just wanted to shove the keyboard away and take a nap. You guys have been awesome. Your ideas are amazing, and just the level of support is just wow. The same with the Facebook people too.
Yeah, and just a quick Meta group. Just a note for everybody that did back us, including the late pledges we've gotten in. Next week, we're going to be getting emails out to all of you with information on rewards. VIP people, you're going to get your information on the special award. It's a special thank you from all of us for being VIPs. So that'll be coming out next week. And one thing that's going to be in those emails is a link to a survey that we're doing. And that is very, very important. The survey is basically, what do you want to play on SceneGrinder? You know, what types of game systems, what kind of genres that you want to run your games in. And also,
is all of the above an option?
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure you're going to get a resounding response of like, can I just do every game,
I guess
please?
The questions,
Well, but also another key thing is, do you want to be one of the community people that help build customizations for game systems? Because that's obviously the first thing we really got to get going.
Community is such a big aspect of this project. And to me, it feels like probably one of the cornerstones of it, essentially because between the players and the person running the game, it is a thing that everyone can build together. If you guys could just speak on some of the aspects of SceneGrinder that you're excited to see people work together in use of.
Sure.
That was English. I think that was English. I'm trying.
Hey, that's
I'm a theater major. I didn't specialize that much. I usually have a script. No.
When it comes to the community, keep in mind, SceneGrinder is always there 24/7. So you open up your web browser, you log in. The Dungeon Master doesn't have to run a server or configure port or go through a lot of that stuff that you would have to do if it was a local install. That gives us the ability to have not only a large community out there that can always drop in and participate, but even at the game level, you can have a community going on around your game. One person can jump in and build part of the world, while another person, on a Wednesday when the original DM is not even logged in, and then log in, and somebody else logs in, and you can kind of trade off on that. So there's that aspect of community that's kind of local. Then there's I guess the right word for it is the marketplace. But really, the marketplace, you can put stuff out there for free if you want and share your scenes, your creations, or you'll be able to, after beta, tag them with a dollar amount and sell your creations in the marketplace if you should choose to do that. So there will be a large and burgeoning, we hope, community of people just putting stuff out there that we never even thought of.
And we can't wait to see what everybody does with SceneGrinder. I mean, the way we view it is, we're putting this tool out there, and we know how we use it. We have a blast. But all the stuff that people are talking about of somebody steps on a trap, and we want everything pauses, and doing automatic die rolls, and of course automating, not automating, but putting out vendors out there that people can buy and sell with. The little mini side adventures that DMs can create, that characters can do in between game sessions.
It really does feel like limitless almost,
yeah,
in terms of the potential of everything. Like, even just like those tiny little things of like setting a trap for someone, and then because I can't tell you how much it makes me excited to just put a door in a place and then watch the panic. Because they don't know. They won't know until it's too late.
Well, and attaching audio files to monsters. So when you're walking through that dungeon, you hear the scurrying of rats, but are those rats 5 feet away? Are they 30 feet away? And the GM can obviously play with the sound settings and stuff. It just brings the world more to life. We talk about the whole theater of the mind and how this really enhances it. It doesn't take anything away. It just makes it,
And that'll be a relief for DMs that don't necessarily like doing sound effects and voices themselves.
There's nothing better as a dungeon master than to watch your party in actual first-person mode get totally lost in a dungeon. I got to tell you, that is a thrill that you just can't touch that. Turn off mapping and all that. Just watch them flail around in the reality of the dungeon. And
yes,
oh my gosh,
dance,
where am I
my
at?
little rats, run the maze.
And as the player in that group, then the GM gets to listen to me complain about why did you take my mapping away? Because I have no freaking clue where I'm going in this dungeon.
I
But it
love
is still
that
fun.
you can set that level of like difficulties for some maybe more advanced players or people who are just starting for the first time. It feels like the accessibility is really a key factor for making sure that it's not only like creative for building, but it's just making sure that there's a base level of fun.
Mm-hmm. And for me, okay, I played these games for a long, long time. I'm also famous for never reading a rule book. So
Don't
Jerry
tell
will
the
verify
internet,
that I hardly ever actually read a rule book.
or they'll ruin you for it.
um,
You know who you are,
so
people.
it's awesome in SceneGrinder when I just click I mean, I just click Fireball and it's like, okay, your template's 30 by 30 and these are the dice that roll. I was like, awesome. I don't have to think about it. I'm just having fun throwing fireballs everywhere.
Oh, goodness gracious, you just gave the power of Fireball for Wizards just whoo. That's gonna be interesting. uh, so let's talk about, now that the project is funded, what do you see as plans going forward?
Okay. Well, first, just to let everybody know what we're doing with the money on it. The main thing for the money is models, because there can never be enough models. Scene models, character models. Almost all of the money from the Kickstarter we go to purchasing more models. A couple of people on Discord have also asked about audio files and if there's some compilations that we can purchase and make free to the community. So we're going to be looking into that as well. But models and potentially audio files, it's where the money is going to be going to.
Sound libraries.
Sound libraries,
yeah.
That was something that was coming up, that I was wondering, just the integration of certain things like music and sound effects. Is there potential in the future to kind of like upload your own libraries, or have like the access to that? Because a lot of people like to use Spotify, or like they either you download from stuff like Monument, or any of the studios that sell those kinds of packages.
Pretty much any file that you can get to your local machine, you can then upload into SceneGrinder. We haven't really yet established any limits on how much you can do that, how many, X number of megabytes are there. Right. And that's probably going to be an after beta thing anyway, so we'll probably be pretty generous about it at the beginning. And then we're talking about, integrating some streaming services that publish their API out for us to grab a hold of and do those kinds of things. And that's also probably going to be, I'm stepping into project manager territory here. Sorry. It's probably going to be an after beta thing for those kinds of streaming things, but it's pretty wide open on the audio right now. You can attach audio, by the way, you can attach audio to your scene in general, or you can attach a creepy sound to a 3D object in the world that as you approach it, you can only hear that sound. So there's two kinds of audio we're talking about here.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And by the way, if anybody's all these things, just because it's like, it's one giant playset and sandbox for, and here's the thing. When it comes to like games like this, where you're just, I can do this for hours and just building, and much like a person who will create characters and never use them, I feel like it's just going to be like one of those instances where I'm just like, this is a fun toy.
Yep.
You can get lost building. So cool. Now, it's only fair to note, we got two other core team members, and that would be Steve Gilbert, who we have to go, okay, Steve, stop creating existential art with SceneGrinder. That's not what it's for. But he's done some mind-blowing stuff.
I've seen some of the pictures. There have been some interesting like maybe Museum of Modern Art style displays.
Yeah, and we have to put up a note that says that's all SceneGrinder. That's not Photoshop. So
yeah, I think you should ask him, like, are you okay? Like,
yeah. Well, not just because he's my brother, but I mean, he comes up with the craziest ideas. Like in one of his scenes, he wanted to have, kind of a funky set of moons in the sky. Up way up high in the scene and put colored lights behind them. So I thought they were actual moon models of different colors, and it was just, but that's the thing. You can do all kinds of crazy things with the tools that are there.
And to round out that court, we got Jim Cross, who is our content wrangler and UX UI guy. So yeah, if the UX sucks, blame Jim. It's all him.
The word beta. The word beta keeps coming up. Let's talk about it. What can you tell us?
Okay, so we've been telling everybody 2 months after the Kickstarter, roughly, and that is what we're looking at. So we're looking at roughly the end of August. We got tons of stuff to do, so we'll be giving more details as we get closer to that. The first thing we're going to focus on in beta is getting the people that want to create the game system customizations access, because that's obviously the first piece that you need is, you need those game system customizations. Like I mentioned, we'll create the ones that we can. So if there's legal docs that say we can create them, then we'll create those, and most of those are already done. And then we're going to let people get in to start working with scenes, and then basically we're just going to slowly let everybody else in. I will be giving a roadmap as we get close to beta of, okay, so these are the features that are going to be here at the start of beta. These are the features we're going to be adding fairly early on. These are ones to be adding a little bit later on. So that way everybody will know, for my campaign, I'm looking for this feature, so I might wait a couple weeks to jump into the beta, or, hey, everything I want is going to be there right away, so I can go ahead and start playing right away.
One of the things that I forgot to mention, though, that you had mentioned to me about is the fact that since it is browser-based, you can pretty much use it as long as you have an internet connection.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
if I wanted to use it on my iPad, or, nondescript tablet, it would be doable just as much as, like, does it also work on a phone?
Yes, but not flip phones. Discord community.
I would think that is,
Yeah.
Okay.
The number
You're
2
still
is
using a
moving
flip
your
phone.
character.
Come at me, because we need to talk.
Yeah.
Get now,
really
folks.
Yeah. SceneGrinder will be able to scale itself back into what we sort of jokingly call pancake mode for lower end devices, meaning the 3D gets stripped out of it, everything gets pressed down, you go into overhead mode, and it looks like a more traditional non-3D tabletop at that point, if you're having performance problems or it warrants that to any degree. And it scales up from there. We have a level of detail issues, stuff like that, where you can attenuate it. You're not going to load all the detail maybe for a particular kind of device, which is weak, but you got some options, but you're going to be able to play as long as you don't have a flip phone.
So there are a few people who are like, I feel called out because I use a flip phone. Listen, we don't mean you.
Right,
no, we like you.
Yeah, exactly.
So one question that did come up, by the way, and thank you to everybody in the chat. We appreciate it. There will be, I will be going and looking back through some of the questions to make sure that everybody gets, we'll try to get to as many as we can within the time we have. How long will the beta run is one thing that is coming up.
The beta is basically going to run until we feel comfortable releasing it to everybody else.
Thank goodness you said that, because there's so many times where, and as a video gamer too, like I've seen, it's just like you could have waited just a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Ubisoft, if you just decided to. I'm not just saying. I'm just Assassin's Creed. Some are great, some weren't.
Black Flag was pretty awesome though.
Oh, it's yeah. There's no question. Oh,
But
speaking
yeah,
of,
I mean,
there are pirate ships that you can put in this game. So,
yes,
fantastic
yes.
segue.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, our thing was, like I said, the community has been so great to us. So we really wanted to make sure we met or that we meet our goal of getting the beta started, a couple months after the Kickstarter ends so that you all can start enjoying SceneGrinder. Um, but before we do the general release, we want to, get it to a certain point. And exactly what that point is and when that happens, we're not quite sure. I know we said roughly 3 months after the beta starts, but we'll just play it by ear. Because part of what's happened so far, and I'm sure it's going to happen even more once people start using the software, is the community just keeps coming up with great ideas and great tweaks to ideas that we've got. So we so many times that the community comes up and he says, "Hey, can you do blah?" It's like, wow, that yes, we will. And so we want to make sure that we leave ourselves some of that time to, get some of those awesome features the community is suggesting into SceneGrinder. So
Yeah, we've sort of we didn't really think it was going to happen this way, but we've almost crowdsourced the idea engine, and it's working out real well.
Well, I mean,
You
that's the
have
thing.
no
You
idea how
go
grateful
out to the
there.
people because the people will
Yeah.
tell you what they want. Like that's kind of the thing with with Worlds of Quest. What we were doing is that we reached out to players and we reached out to DMs and GMs and be like, what are the games that you want to play and how do you want to be seen playing them? And that idea
yep.
of then having this immersion with Scene Grinder, it feels like I was like, this goes hand in hand because I'm all about immersion. I'm all about like getting people into their character or the feeling of the vibe of the game, and with this there's no way not to.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But
Yeah.
we actually have a special announcement with a special video that you are all. This is an exclusive. This is never before seen, never before heard. You're seeing it here first. So get ready. Get set.
Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Ron at SceneGrinder, and I got a really cool video I think that all of you are going to like. So as you can see, I'm logged into my Hero Forge account right now, and yes, SceneGrinder now supports Hero Forge. So all you need to do this is build your model in Hero Forge, go to your account information and the personal information screen, and you'll see an access key there. I'll get to that in a second. And then go to Finish and choose either the model that you've created, and scroll down here and choose 3D Digital, and that's one way to purchase it. They also have packs of models that you can buy, and you can do the same. You can purchase these packs of models as well. So once you've done that, then just head over to SceneGrinder and go to your character sheet, and you'll notice there's a new Assign Hero Forge Model button. Now the first time you click on this button, it's going to ask you for that access key. After that, it's going to go in here and it's going to check Hero Forge and see what models you've got available for you. And as you can see, I've been having some fun with Hero Forge, just creating some models. So then I'll just go ahead and select my model. And there you go. Now I'm using my Hero Forge model. So that's all there is to it. Piece of cake to use, and I hope you enjoy. Thanks everybody. Bye.
All right, so apologies for you not being able to hear that video just then. Kind of one of those last-minute glitches. Happens all the time on live streams. But the big announcement is that you will be able to use your Hero Forge figures in SceneGrinder. Oh my god! As someone who constantly makes them and just is like, tweak, tweak, tweak all the time, and I'm like, oh, never going to be able to print and use these. Now I can! Now I can use them! This is a big step because of the customization. One of the big key factors of SceneGrinder to use these figures now. It's just again a hand-in-hand situation.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody loves Hero Forge. It's just awesome. All the customization you can do it, all the level of detail you can add. and of course, everybody's been asking us for this for months. And well, kind of short story is we had talked to Hero Forge last fall, and at that time, what they did was not compatible with what we do. But then they said, we got a project going on, so we're not going to talk to you for a while. And then they called us back right before the Kickstarter ended and said, did you want to talk? And so then Jerry talked to him like an hour after the Kickstarter ended. And go ahead.
Well, I believe it was on Discord. Was Ulrich who, if you're out there,
I can't remember
watching. Well, yeah, one of our Discord members clued us in that they had changed their Access API model, and then that coincided with Hero Forge contact, and we said, okay, now there's a reason to do it. Thank you, Discord community, again. And that sort of made the connection happen. And just a short time later, we had this up and running, burning the midnight oil. And by the way, Hero Forge, they were awesome to work with. Extremely knowledgeable people in this space. They really did a great job of reaching out and going, here's how you do it, and here's what you need to do. So thank you, Hero Forge.
Apparently. They said that
you're already
Hero
being
Forge
called legends, by the way, for pulling this off in the chat. So I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, it just happened to be with the new way they're doing it. SceneGrinder was well set up. They use some of the same testing pipelines and stuff like that we did coincidentally. So yeah, it was a great experience. So we're happy to bring this, and we're having a blast using it. And we can't wait to turn it loose.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I'm going to go to some of the questions here in the chat. By the way, thank you for everybody who has been here watching along, and even some, one minor issue. I'd say that's pretty good. One thing that keeps popping up is people would like to know about the AI aspect of SceneGrinder.
Sure.
And
for the geeks,
with that?
Yeah. All right. So for the geeks watching, it's plugging into the OpenAI GPT-3 artificial intelligence prediction model. Which and
we're gonna be quizzed on that after this.
Yeah, there'll be a test.
Like that meme where like the math becomes like in front, floating in front. That's what me trying to think of what that is. Right now. I know that Google attempted to talk to a chat bot and made it seem like it was real. It wasn't. But like this is just kind of like taking that cool tech and applying it to an NPC.
Right. So imagine that you're a dungeon master.
For the more dumbed down folks like myself to explain.
Yeah. you set up your town, and you're going to open up the permissions on that town so the party can wander around in it while you're off doing something else, like planning the next way to kill them. You can set up NPCs.
Never.
You can set up non-player characters in that town to have dialogue with party members using the artificial intelligence side of things. And what that looks like right now, we have a lot more cool stuff planned for this, but what it looks like right now is walking up to an NPC barmaid, for instance, and engaging in conversation. And that barmaid can, when whatever the DM has seated him or her with, she'll expand on that in a beautiful conversation mode that's really hard to tell from an actual person. Not saying you can't push it, but it's you can get clues on the town, what they're serving, and they'll extemporize. They'll start making stuff up, and of course, there's a responsibility there for that to go into the journal, and the GM can decide to use it or not use it by reviewing it later. But it's a really nice way to take some load off. Again, don't want to take away theater of the mind. The GM can always jump in and take over that dialogue.
As someone who loves to make NPCs, and I've been doing improv for like 20 years, and I can, rat them off. Remembering them all is a whole different story. Just I do like, though, there is a level of trust for chaos that you're not gonna like come back to your village and it's burned down. Just your players being particular chaos gremlins. But I love the idea of making an NPC that is all across the spectrum of identities with just being to all our friends beyond the binary, we recognize you too, so don't worry, you got it down. We as creators, we just like to think of like, who are the people that I would love to just be in this world, and now I can make every single type of person that I want.
Yeah. And we had some fun with it when we were testing out. Jerry made one barmaid that was, we'll just call it, she was very conservative. And so
yeah, the world's got none of those.
No. So we typed in something that would be inappropriate for a conservative person, and the reaction we got from the AI was the barmaid walked away, and she would never talk to us again.
Wow, that sounds like an experience I've had in college. I can feels very familiar.
Just one more of those that was kind of funny. Jerry made one where it was again a barmaid, and the inn didn't have meat, I think it was. And so we kept asking her for meat, and she kept saying no, and she kept getting madder and madder. And the last dialogue before she rejected us completely was the barmaid leans over the counter and says, "If you ask for meat again, the owner of the tavern is going to come out and kill you." And that was just the AI making up that dialogue.
Yeah.
It was, I don't know, as a player, that's just an awesome thing. It really adds a lot of life to the world. So
yeah,
it takes a little work off the DM.
Yeah. Is a couple of times it's been brought up, but in terms of like the audio and the sound, with people being able to provide their own music and their sound effects potentially when uploading it, what about the potential for being able to add your own voice to perhaps like a sound library for an NPC?
Honestly, that falls in the category of I think somebody a few weeks ago also mentioned that on Discord, and it might be the same person asking now. We really hadn't thought of it, but we talked about it a little bit, and there's no reason that it can't happen. It almost certainly would be a post live release kind of thing, because our schedule's pretty tight. But that, combine it with voice changers and all kinds of that kind of stuff, there's a rich world to reach into, that you can reach into APIs and live stuff to sort of make that happen as well. So obviously we started exploring that kind of stuff. So I would give it a thumbs up on doability. It's just up to this guy where it fits in the schedule. So
awesome. And there's a couple of questions about like the other possible integrations that could potentially work with SceneGrinder, especially stuff that uses character sheets or anything like that.
Oh, well, obviously we have to be able to import from D&D Beyond, because we get that question all the time.
Every day.
That's a given. Yeah. And they've got, we've checked that a little bit. Looks like they've got a good API for doing it, so we don't think that's going to be an issue.
Emerging one. Yeah.
And
that there are some other sources out there, which we might consider doing as well. But D&D Beyond is kind of the big one, and that is a definite we must do. It falls into a list of our community will kill us if we don't. So it's on the table.
Yeah.
And that looks like a mid beta. I think we have that as mid beta.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, this has been enlightening, to say the least, and I have been really, really loving. First of all, you guys are really good at what you do, and I've been loving to see this development as it's going on, and just to get to know you guys as well. There are tons, of course, of things that we have not been able to get to, although we can in the future. And for those of you who have all these questions, please interact with the Discord, because it is the best way to engage with the team and to find out more, to share ideas, and be part of this collective not hive mind, but you know, it's just one of us, one of us. And you know, community is a big aspect of everything that has been involved in this from the ground up, and I love, you know, being a part of it and seeing it grow. So gentlemen, thank you so much, and thank you everybody who is watching tonight. There will be a recorded version of this for anybody who didn't watch live, and which we will post on the proper channels. But we will be back again sometime as things go on. Indeterminate at this point. But thanks again for everybody watching. This has been SceneGrinder Live. I have been Michael St. Gregory. You can find me at Worlds of Quest. That's Worlds plural, Worlds of Quest. Pretty much that's the name on all the socials. At SceneGrinder is the same for pretty much everything you've got here. So please follow, interact, share. Get the word out there about this. All right. Well, everyone have a great night wherever you are. Thank you for watching. We will see you next time on SceneGrinder Live. Thanks again, gentlemen.
Thank you.